Yay! Recording. Happy days.
Okay. So, what we're doing
Too happy.
is that after the last major story goal, where we put House Caladan at the most prestigious position of the marshes, by unanimous vote, no less, except Peak because he ran away because he got pissed. We are in an interesting position, and I found myself like at the week downtime that I felt like I was kind of done with Decim. I was like, yeah, no, I set out to do a thing with Decim to make House Caladan great, and he did it. He did it. Like there is no opponent more difficult to defeat than Hand of the King, and we did it. So I felt kind of complete with him. He could hang up his intrigue and just paint for the rest of his life.
Hello.
And hang around with Bree and Sir Alaric and all of the cool people, and being out there doing sports in the yard, not be a nerd. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I missed most of that, really.
Yep, so did I.
But I'm sure the people recording got it, so...
I didn't. Stream might have got it. Stream did get it, probably.
Oh, well,
I didn't get it.
something, being a nerd. Yeah, Decim is done, and other than that, there's been some changes. Tina will not be joining us for the sessions. Instead, there will be Goger.
Hey.
Yes, you all know him.
Having some major Skype issues. It's not the stream. Don't you worry, people.
Let's try again.
Let's try
Yeah.
and continue where we were, I suppose.
Yes. Do go on.
Do
I don't know
start
how
from
to
the
actually heard
beginning.
anything I was saying.
No,
What I was saying.
all I heard at the end was
Me and
Manaki.
Jonas have been talking for ages. So.
I heard Manaki say that Tina's not going to be here, but Goger is. That's it.
Oh.
And then
Also,
everything
Dark's
went
going to
down.
change the character, so
Yeah.
there we go. That's basic.
And that's what we're talking about. Did you hear my
I heard being a nerd, and then nothing. So
Oh, there you go.
I just assumed that was like an offhand description of your character.
I felt done with Decim, and I wanted to change up. Decim's still around. He's not dead. He's running the house. He's being the spy master, but the pressing duties. But the pressing duties of the spy master is such that he can't really travel anywhere, and with house in a new position, he needs to work around the clock and can't do much else. So, I want. He's going to be involved with something else. Also, Halldamir, shut off your damn mic.
Sorry.
Here, win.
If people continue leveling up characters, then leaving them, this house is going to be made of the most badass people ever. The new one keeps being trained up.
So that's Decim. He's mentioned I might come back to him at some point. I might take up the mantle again for something. But for now, I'm gonna play something else.
Yeah, and I had a similar thing with Lanus kind of prop me, where I haven't really been enjoying him that much, but I didn't really want to just drop him while we were kind of in this middle of like this kind of grand thing of like replacing the Lord of the Marshes, because that would feel like a really bad time to do it. So I've kind of pushed forward, and now with other people changing their characters as well, and like Tina leaving, now is the time it feels if I'm going to change character, now would be the time to change it. Lanus would still be, of course, the Lord of the Marshes, and we know him well enough that he's not going to cockblock everything we're doing, unlike other possible NPCs.
The planets are aligned, and now the
summertime.
time is right.
Manaki, I will stab you if you.
Lanus looks at you and says, "Who now?"
Well, Lanus does have the ability to order command status 3 and lower, but
Go
I'm going to ignore that.
go into the Dornish mountains.
Never return.
That's probably not how it's going to happen. But
It's
yeah,
very
well, we're going to
unlikely.
have some new characters, and the party can stand around in this little, well, not really a circle, half circle, I guess, of the current house.
The glaring eyes of doom.
There's a few additional people, but these were the ones I had tokens in my Caladan folder of. So those are the ones that get to be here.
You need a bigger Caladan folder.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen.
Though, Goger, there is something I find very amusing about what you said about your character's possible, what he's been doing.
Mhm.
Which is, one of the background things I ended up rolling was the character got captured at some point and brought somewhere, and I very much considered the Tyroshi Slavers tried.
Wait, you're for my character?
My
Oh, no,
character.
okay.
No, we
I
rolled
roll
your
your
character.
backstory.
Yeah, we roll yours.
I thought, yeah, because you rolled for this character, so I thought you might have gotten something else for him, but alright.
No, but I find that as a rather interesting dynamic if I kept that path.
Sure.
You did what?
Well, Jonas, I didn't quite catch what's the sort of the high concept you're going to go with. Here.
Well, my high concept is an archer ranger type. That is something the party has not had, and it is, it's a big hole that we need filled, especially if we want to go into adventuring into Red Mountains to kill some vultures. So that's what I set out
Who
to
is
make. He is Wren Rane, a Dornish ranger archer, probably in the service of Mikan Wraith. Requisitioned, basically, or bought, you could almost say, by Decim, probably for this very expedition. I mean, the House Karen was very adamant about the threat. Decim looks and says, well, we can take a look at that as Lords of the Marshes, but we have no people who can navigate the Red Mountains. So if you have anyone to help us out, and you can send him over, that'll be great. And so...
And so two people arrived.
Yeah, so Wraith took a look at his people and be like, well, you two, you go.
Sure.
And Kivan he's quite young. He's in his early 20s. He is fairly at home in the mountains. He's not the best at it. It would have been better if he had more experience, but alas. But he's decent. he has a 4 in survival, so he can poke around a bit.
Mm-hmm. That's fairly decent.
Yeah, he is good at stealth, so he can sneak around. He is decent in awareness, and he is very good at marksmanship.
How good?
5.
5. All right.
Yep. My goal with him is to get more experience and probably get the double shot. That's like my end goal for him. His battle prowess, and so I can shoot twice around. That'll be great. But he's agile. He's a very good marksman, a good survivalist and stealthist, and pretty mediocre at everything else, basically.
How stealthy is he, out of curiosity? How stealthy is he, out of curiosity?
Currently a 4, although I'm considering.
Okay. 4 is a pretty good stealth.
4 is pretty good, I think.
With the starting experience only, I'm very limited. I can't get many bonus dice or anything. So he will be. I imagine him being fairly raw, and he hasn't really specialized. He is still full of youthful potential that has been molded in a certain direction, but he hasn't specialized that much, which might come from this first real proper sojourn into the mountains.
So he's fairly young then.
Yes.
A greenhorn, as it were.
He's not a greenhorn. He has been there before, and he knows his way around fairly well, especially in the Karen lands.
Mm-hmm.
but he's by no means like an expert. He doesn't know the mountains like the back of his hand or anything.
No
but
one
he
really does. So,
yeah, but he should be.
ashamed of.
But he should be a competent enough guide.
So, what bow are you gonna use?
I'm gonna use the Dornish double curve bow.
Okay.
Incoming strength modifier.
Yeah. Powerful. We have a lot of those.
Powerful is powerful, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good bow, and it also fits his nativeness. So, so that's basically it. He is also lucky.
Ooh.
And he has danger sense, which means that he has sort of a sixth sense when danger's around. I don't know about this. There's a bad feeling about this, boss. And that might probably be a good thing to have. He also has a fear of snakes. He really doesn't like snakes, which is unfortunate in the mountains.
Yeah.
But that's it. He really, really doesn't like snakes.
Okay, that's a phobia or
a
fear.
That's a drawback. That's a fear. And that might also be a reason why he uses bows in the mountains, like why he trained that, so he doesn't need to get closer to damn things.
Shooting a snake with a bow.
That is hard.
So,
Gotta say.
He's a legendary shot.
So how old is he then?
At the moment, I have put in at 22.
All right,
Which
fairly
will
young.
make him...
Young adult.
Yeah, he's
adult, really.
He's just on the cusp of adulthood. Like, he's just clipped over into that, I guess.
Is he married?
No.
Okay. He's lowborn?
He is lowborn, yes. He probably came with Wright's entourage when he was first, like, brought up into House Karen.
So
like, probably born into the not a serving family, but born of someone in the garrison, probably. And
so young man looking for his place in the world.
Very much so, and he definitely sees this as a great opportunity. He has heard of Sir Alaric. He's after all a great knight of quite the repute, actually. So it's a great honor to fight together with him and help him along. House Caladan has certainly popped up on the map quite a bit, and he's intrigued. He's heard some things about House Caladan, and he would like to see them for himself. He's quite like eager and like yeah.
If only they'd had an archery competition, he could have marked himself earlier.
There wasn't much.
Nobody cared.
Yeah, he came and was so disappointed. It was so sad. But
he was not the only one. I can tell you that. A lot of people are good at archery.
He did see a caber toss that was very impressive, and then the little girl started punching people, and that he doesn't really know how to handle that. But it's probably going to be fine.
Well, they say that she can kill snakes with her bare hands. So,
my gosh,
real big ones too.
Oh.
Useful to have around. You're afraid of them after all.
Yeah, no, that's he will never admit, of course, that he wants a 12-year-old girl to protect him from snakes. But
it's a 12-year-old bit that's the problem, right? Because you're Dornish house.
Depending on the fate of this house at the end of this, there will be a nursery rhyme going one way or the other about Bree.
Yes, there will be. Yes, there will be. Of course, no Taylor.
All right, so, all right, and that's just someone or young man. All right. Dark, what about your Dornishman?
I don't have, as I said, I don't have all the details locked in yet. One thing I will bring up, since one thing Jonas definitely brought up, when it comes to fears, I actually thought having one as well, a fear of fire. Which is an interesting one.
Wreathed in flames, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes, you're not using wildfire all the time, right? It's fine.
Yeah. Right, fire and snakes then. Is he similarly young?
Yes, quite young as well.
Right. Friends, perhaps?
I
imagine since we've both been at Lord's Rife Place, we've become friends.
Sort of the same same. He came from the same place, or like born into the.
My character most certainly wouldn't have been born in the region. They've travelled. They have travelled quite a bit from what I've rolled. Probably only being at Lord Rife's place for a few years.
All right. So he would have done a lot to earn such a trust in that time, yeah.
Yes. There, I rolled some kind of big deed, which I haven't decided what it is yet. That's that caught the attention.
Sure.
Lowborn as well.
What sort of skills does he have that might come to use in the mountains?
One, he has become quite proficient at healing and being able to identify what kinds of wounds and what kinds of toxins are in someone. He has a dexterity diagnosis. That's something I decided up. Other than that, he is a rather agile fighter, good at avoiding just getting hit in the first place. Which sometimes when you're dealing with snakes, for example, is a good thing. You just don't want to get them.
Does he use the Dornish spear, or?
That is something I'm still kind of looking into exactly how to put out my points.
Yeah.
But based on how he's travelled, and some of the ways I wanted to build it, he's using definitely using a different choice of weaponry than most Dornish would. I can tell. It looks like I might end up going down using either short blades or fencing weapons.
All right, sure. Armor. What sort of armor would he wear, do you think?
Relatively quite light armor. So one of the first three that don't have bulk.
Is he perhaps has the blood of the Dornish?
Yes.
Blood of the Roin?
Yes, he does have blood of the Roin.
Following the ways of the warrior princess Nymeria?
So, it certainly runs thick in him. Partially also shown by the fact that one of the areas I'm thinking he's been born then was quite where the Dornish who show that trait quite the most, down near Sunspear, which says quite a distance.
That's where they are the most Dornish. I think that would make him Salt Dornish.
Correct.
Or the most sort of burnished and most accented and ethnically Dornish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rosette, for example, the Stone Dornish basically can't really easily be distinguished from an Enel. Then there's the Sand Dornish in between.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he's really Dornish.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
At least born in a very, very Dornish location, and you'll be able to tell by looking at him.
And it occurs to me that it's lucky that Varon Flowers wasn't knighted, because then we would have two Sir Cousins. Which would be confusing.
Sir Cousin 1 and Sir Cousin 2.
True.
Yeah.
Line up.
What is their relationship? Have you guys talked about that or thought about that?
We haven't really.
I haven't been around because my grandmother's funeral, so
yeah,
I haven't had time really.
That's why we're here.
Talking about that.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
character hasn't been in Westeros for that much time at all, really.
I mean, not recently at least. Maybe he's in childhood they knew each other. Or...
I mean, they probably talked a bit then.
Yeah,
I don't
possible.
really know where Alaric lived at that time and where my character lived.
Here, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Where
Yeah.
do you want to live? You tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a bastard, so that's unfortunate. Of a bastard, son of a knight. So. Yeah.
To give you
with Ashford probably. That's where you lived because that's where his your stepmother. I don't know what you call that. The actual wife of your father. Yeah. She was an Ashford, so probably in Ashford since they have room enough.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So then.
It's not that far.
Yeah. So then, my character and Alaric might not have ever met.
They might have met. They might have met.
Probably.
But to what extent? Probably not very much. They might not have had like an in-depth discussion over like a few weeks, but maybe like a general meeting.
Yeah, sure.
Bran would probably have met the main part of the family at least. The Decim, for example.
Yeah.
likely have spoken to him before, though it's a long time ago. Desmond traveled in the in like Essos when he was young as well. So you know some people over there.
Right.
Perhaps when you wanted to travel, leave this place because you weren't really welcome anywhere. He might have pointed out a place you could go, sort of in a quiet way. You're basically, I imagine your childhood as a bastard in the household of the people. I mean, you're kind of a shame there.
Yeah, exactly.
An insult. And so you probably didn't have a great childhood.
No, I didn't. He also had an older brother that beat him a lot as a child.
What happened to him?
I don't know. He died sometime.
All right.
He's not alive anymore.
Yeah, he died. I see, yes.
Desmond,
very
on your shoulder during the funeral and says, "I know some people in Essos. There's a ship."
Exactly. Leave in the morning. Take this gold and come back.
I suppose at that time Lauren would be, well, I guess their father, Desmond's father, would be that, like,
I suppose.
20 years ago?
Yeah, Kagan.
20 years ago?
Yeah,
No. Is that? I think that's Lauren's period, technically.
That is Lauren's period, yes.
So yes, so that would be Lauren standing there, being all like, there is no funeral really, because what's the point?
Yeah, Lauren doesn't care.
It's dead. It's a waste of time to spend time thinking of the dead.
Toss him over the wall and be done with it.
Let the crows eat. Then we get fat crows.
Oh.
Yeah. Not a great guy either. Maybe that helped to you leaving actually. Because when you grew old enough perhaps to get away from the asteroid, you could move here to your ancestral home. Turns out, however, that it was ruled by an absolute madman.
So I kind of left pretty quickly.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. At that point, Alaric was in High Garden. So.
Yep. He was in High
Fuck
Garden.
this, I'm going east.
Yeah. and there's certainly plenty of work. Basically, the disputed lands between Mir, Tyrosh, and Lys has been fought over like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
There's very little there now, like ruins mostly. It's basically a huge war game. There's very little to win. You just assault places, take them, hold them for like half a year, and then you get assaulted back. And
basically he traveled around Bravos for a bit, and he joined a merchant lord there as a bodyguard because he wanted him for his imposing stature, really. And when that he didn't really want to be there anymore, he went to Marine actually to fight in the fighting pits over there. And after that, he got picked up by a mercenary company called the let's see, what was it? Iron Shields, I think. I picked.
The what?
And I think it was. I have it here somewhere. Yeah, the Iron Shields. The sellsword company. And he joined them, and they got hired by Mir to take part in the war in the disputed lands.
All right. Has he been working for Mir then for long?
A couple of years, but not for very long.
So basically, it has been throughout this period of fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Why did he decide to come home?
Actually, that was I haven't really gotten into details about this yet, but at some point he himself fathered a bastard son, and he kind of wants a better life for him because he didn't really enjoy his life in the Free Cities, and so he has gone home to sort of try to start a business over here to get some financial security for his son, so he doesn't have to live the life.
What sort of business?
Not sure. Maybe taverns. Maybe. I haven't really gotten into it yet, so something I'm gonna have to think of.
Yeah. When you suddenly stand there, he didn't probably expect that to happen. Certainly have a kid that he can't provide for in the middle of a war zone. All right.
Exactly.
How did his company feel about him leaving? Were they okay with that?
I mean,
they get a little possessive sometimes.
Yeah,
that's true. They did lose.
So. How did he end up with the kid? Usually, when it's a bastard born, that's the woman who gets the kid, and the dad just runs away.
Yeah, I have thought about that a bit. Maybe she didn't care about the kid, just didn't want it, and
Maybe he cared.
yeah, he cared and didn't want to see the kid starve, because it's his kid.
Actual
Maybe
father's
First time
feelings.
holding it and suddenly maybe gaining a new aspect to his life.
Exactly.
All right.
You can actually have possibly decent parents in.
When he shows up and says, I mean, this would technically just be a lowborn child. Because you're not a knight.
You did get out there a bit.
Oh, it would be a lowborn child because you don't really, as a bastard, retain any title, and so it wouldn't really have any status if you don't somehow finagle it up in getting one. I suppose that's what you would do then. Try to. And maybe House Caladan said, well, all right, we'll let you show yourself, or I don't know.
Right.
So
Participate
And he also
in
wanted
this
to
endeavor.
bring news to the families. He also wanted to bring news to the family what has been happening over in the Free Cities with the Blackfire and everything.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
you
they
got
probably know a lot, but
over
he has
there, you got
actually been there.
soundly beaten.
Yep.
Yeah.
What kind of weaponry
Somehow
and armor does he use?
I'm gonna use a full plate and a pole axe and a shield.
Oh, you rolled well on the money.
Tower shield as well.
I don't think tower shield, but
All right.
I do want the ability to actually move.
Mhm.
It's not like mobility's ever been a problem.
Well, you are going into the mountains,
really.
so probably not bringing many horses up there. At least not.
Damn
without the
it!
risk
But what
of
about
them
that
dying.
He
There
does
were
prefer
elephants,
to,
but they were on the enemy side. Maybe Varon has faced an elephant,
Oh god.
but you don't face an elephant charge. You don't. I mean,
no.
you don't stand and hold or
Man.
anything.
Men, stand valiantly.
Sidestep.
You are not. Well, it's basically like at that point, it's like we're not paid enough for this, right?
Exactly.
Fuck that.
Hold the
Fuck
line.
elephants. Fuck elephants.
Hold the
It's
line.
the
Although he is
they're
courageous,
from
but,
further down.
You're captain of a fear of
It's
elephants.
from. He's not stupid enough to die for slavers when they pay him
definitely not.
mercenary salary.
And he didn't know he would be joining the slavers either when he joined up with the Iron Seals, but by that point it was really too late.
Yeah, I mean, you fought for them in the pits, so
Sure.
against
He doesn't really
against
care
slaves.
that much. It's not only against slaves.
Maybe he wasn't so moral before he had a kid. Maybe he still
Yeah.
has some problems there.
He's also not that intelligent.
Okay. Hmm. So he's soft, but really is children then.
Yeah.
All right.
That's like the only thing he really cares about at this moment, at least.
Right. Surely the family household of Caladan can take care of another child in their bundle at this point.
You know, Lanus is charitable. You know.
Yeah, there's also Nalia's, who knows, Lady Catelyn maybe, but of course she doesn't live here. And then, yeah. All right.
I mean, it's also not a baby. He's like 5 or 6 years old or something like that.
Okay, he's old enough to remember everything. Well, something.
Agatha, we've got a job for you.
He's old enough to be in that age where he's absolutely infuriating.
Agatha, it's not a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wouldn't have the name Flowers either. He'd just be like.
He would have whatever, like, the thing at that point is that usually if you're lowborn, you just have one name because nobody gives a damn.
Yeah, right.
Like, they don't care about you or who your family is because you're just a damn lowborn. So you can certainly, like, have a last name. Maybe the mother's. You could certainly give him flowers. You could, as a flowers, give him something else. Usually, flowers, a bastard would try to become a knight, thereby like having his knightly name that he can pass on as sort of the lowest rank of nobility. But as a mercenary, like, could be anything.
Yeah, all right.
Off Essos could even be what some people would use.
All right, sure.
Just because you're not from here, and they would forever put you as an outsider, or put him as an outsider.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 young Dornishmen and a forgotten son of Caladan.
Indeed.
Some would say of Caladan, some would say not.
Bolster the line.
Did it ever strike him that if he fought for the Blackfire, he maybe could get the full name of Caladan?
He doesn't really care that much about that, actually.
Even though he could pass that down to his son?
I mean,
It would be
sure.
recognized ability?
But he's not really sure how he feels about Blackfire.
Didn't like getting beaten?
Well.
I mean, he is a man of much virtue. Magnanimous in victory, like, brilliant strategist, courageous warrior. No, but he said about
No,
it.
it also
Though, of course, there was that whole
well
event
if he
where...
was buddy with Blackfire.
Yeah. Well, there was that whole event that happened in the city of Mir one time, because the Blackfire did ally with the pirates as well, the Lyseni pirates, and then beyond that, there was also quite a lot of assassinations that happened in Mir, basically on the night where the city fell, without really... the city wasn't really taken, but all the important people died, and the ones who followed them were more inclined to support the Blackfire's side in this conflict.
That's quite dishonorable.
Well, who knows if he had anything to do with it, but maybe you think so.
You can prove nothing.
Yeah, I definitely think so.